Demon time. You know, men change with the trends. These days, thick is in. But I remember a time when if you wore anything over a size 10, folks didn't just call you fat, they called you lazy. I used to be a hot little size 8, bow-legged and fine. They used to marvel over old Slim. Now, I'm a sexy, thick size 16, and they still marveling. Matter of fact, these men prefer you over 200 pounds. Talking about thick thighs save lives. I ain't throwing no stones, but baby, I just can't carry all that ass. Meanwhile, I was in my early 20s and still out here looking for a man. Child, my drawers was hot, and I was just trying to keep that thing cool. Sometimes, you gotta get a little drink of milk to cool the cookies down. So where did I go? To church. Well, why not? Folks are always talking about a good place to meet a man. Hell, I checked with my daddy first. The fool who worked for my daddy wasn't even a real person. He had a real job, all right, and stole my daddy's real money, but he didn't even exist on paper. Husband number 2, I met at a party, and that animal never stopped partying. So yes, now I'm in the church looking for a man. The church is a good place to find a lot of good things. I was already there anyway, ushering the saints in and trying to train my son up in the way he should go. And the deacons, they seem to be taking good care of his man training. So when the chairman of the deacon board approached me, I thought, well, this must be God. He's the leader of the leaders I sit my son with. So surely I hit the nail on the head this time. Deacon Marvell Saint. Oh, how I thought he was a saint. Not really a looker, but he was so kind, so nice, so respectful, and a natural leader. Or so I thought. I mean, isn't that a prerequisite for a church leader? But sometimes you can't see God till it get dark. That's when his light shines the brightest. And I tell you the truth, the darkest souls often reside in the brightest rooms. Now, before I invite you into this nightmare, let me say, I was given fair warning. God will always send a message, whether it's through a messenger or one of your 15 senses. You just gotta have enough sense to listen. When I met the saint, I also met one of his friends and his wife. The men had worked together at Bell South for some time. 2 weeks before we were to marry, he bought us a home, and we took the couple with us to see it. While the saint was showing his friend around, his wife, Rosa, pulled me into the kitchen. The Holy Spirit told me to tell you not to marry this man, she whispered. Now look, I was too grown for another woman to be telling me about my man. I put my hands on these bow-legged hips and gave her all the neck action. Look, lady, you don't know me. And you sure don't know nothing about me and my man. What you need to do is mind your business. But I guess you know the old saying, warning comes before destruction. Child, this man gonna beat you for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I can see it clear as day. Do not marry this man. I laughed right in her face. But you know what she said? Okay, I'ma stick by you though, because when this is over, you gonna need a real friend. When you open up the encyclopedia and look up narcissist, this demon's picture is right there, suited up with a smile and a communion cup in his hand. I thought as Christians, we weren't supposed to participate in Halloween, but these cats keep putting on costumes. This man started tearing me down from day one. He was literally trying to make me think I was going crazy. He would move things, remove things, anything to confuse me. He'd do stuff right in my face and then accuse me of being insecure. Now, I know I'm not crazy, but he wanted me to feel that way. Rosa convinced me to put up cameras, and I caught his ass red-handed. It ain't like I could say nothing, but it sure was good to know I wasn't losing my mind. I wanted to be a good wife, and I wanted him to love me. I'd go shopping and buy him nice things because that's what good wives do. I love shopping department store sales. The clearance rack made me feel like I was getting more for my money. If you've ever shopped at Rich's, Macy's, Sears, or JCPenney, baby, you know there ain't nothing like a one-day sale. The name brands you could get at half price will make you tear up the carpet on a Sunday morning, counting your blessings in your greenbacks. But Mr. Saint, he didn't like sale prices. He tossed the pieces at me like they were trash, and I was a dumpster. I don't want this cheap shit, he said. I'm worth full price. Don't you know my value? His level of control was insane. I mean, I get being a submissive wife, but I couldn't spend a dime without his permission. We had a joint account, but doing anything he didn't approve of would get me punched, slapped, kicked, whatever he felt was a fitting punishment for my behavior. I got fewer whippings as a child. Damn. We had planned a trip to New Orleans with another couple, but at the last minute, the Saint decided the wives weren't going. Oh, I'm going to New Orleans. I know all about Bourbon Street, I rebutted. I knew this was going to start some shit, but listen, honey, maybe you ain't never been down to Bourbon Street. This was not a trip I was about to miss. I said the wives are not going, he chastised me. I'll meet you on Bourbon Street, baby, my sassy ass responded. I really wasn't trying to piss him off, but to be honest, I didn't really care. I just wanted to go to New Orleans. He promised me this trip, and I deserved it. I was going to New Orleans by any means. If I see you on Bourbon Street, I'ma beat your ass, he yelled. I had made him mad, but you know what? This ain't the first time, and it won't be the last. You beat my ass every day, I sassed him. The fact of the matter was he did. It was inevitable that I was going to get my ass beat at least once a day. So getting my ass beat in New Orleans on Bourbon Street was fine with me. I was going to have fun regardless. It beat sitting in this damn house working every day while he on vacation. So I went back to see the ticket lady, grabbed 2 more tickets, and made the reservations for the wives. All those driving lessons from my old friend were about to pay off. I took Saint's car, and we hit the road. We snuck up on them like Charlie's Angels. I walked in and saw him standing in line at the front desk with his back turned. The gentleman next to him, someone I'd seen him with before, obviously knew I was his wife. He elbowed him and pointed back at me. When he turned around and saw me standing there at the same hotel I had made our reservations at, I saw his lips move. I bet he was saying, "What the hell is that bitch doing here?" I was always a project bitch to him. He loved reminding me where I came from. Hell, I just wanted to see if he was gonna keep good on his promise. I'm here. What you gonna do? Where that whipping at? The look of disgust on his face tickled me. How'd you get here? He asked. I told him I drove. I didn't say what, but he knew. I had driven his car, even though he didn't know I could drive. The thing is this, he didn't know his value, and I didn't know mine. That's why when he started beating my ass for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, just like Rosa had warned, I didn't go anywhere. I didn't stop sassing his ass, though. It was going to take an act of God to close my mouth. I had come to grips with the fact that this was not going to end well long ago. I knew it had to end, but how? I was unsure. That's when I started riding the bus to my old friend's house and he taught me how to drive. Something the saint didn't have the patience to teach my stupid ass. He didn't beat my ass in New Orleans. Actually, my acquaintance and I had a great time without our husbands. We did our thing and stayed the hell out of their way. It ended up being one of the best trips I had ever taken with him in the same place. And Bourbon Street. Well, you know I don't drink anyway, but Bourbon Street had all the vibes I needed. No alcohol necessary. I learned a valuable lesson about mother-son relationships. A man who beats his wife almost always has mommy issues. Saint was one of 3 sons, and his mother despised him. Maybe it was because he was ugly like her, or maybe because he was a coward. Whatever the reason, she was rude and disrespectful to him. She called him a grease monkey, saying he did nasty jobs. I was used to a man working with his hands. Hell, what was he supposed to use? His mother was a real card. I called myself inviting them up to Atlanta for a weekend. I cooked dinner and set everything up real nice. I wanted to make a good impression, you know? This woman had the audacity to bring brand new stainless steel pots, not for me, but for my food. She don't eat out of old pots. What? Yeah, you heard that right. She took everything I cooked out of my pots and proceeded to put them in hers. You know what, ma'am? You go right on ahead. Thanks for the cleanup. The devil she had created in him from years of verbal abuse toward him and his daddy is the man I married. The man I met was just his church boy representative. In 1980, I opened my eyes. It took me 4 years to truly see this man for who he was and to escape. It almost cost me my life. We were in the McDonald's parking lot off Bankhead Highway. It was pouring rain. I saw the reverse lights come on to my right and said, "Watch out, this man finna back out." This was my first real encounter with understanding the Holy Spirit. I learned that when you're insecure and don't know your worth, you open yourself up to things you never should have accepted. But I wouldn't change a thing. The pain I went through was the catalyst for growth. I don't look like what I've been through, and baby, these teeth I got now, they doing the damn thing. "I got this, bitch," he snapped, right before pulling off, straight into the line of fire. The man in the rusty old Fleetwood was drunk. When he punched the gas, his car slammed into my side. Glass flew everywhere. The impact almost tossed me into Saint's lap and threw my face into the steering wheel. My jaw dropped to the flat of my chest. I couldn't speak. I was terrified. The EMTs arrived. One of them leaned in and said, "Ma'am, do you trust me? I'm gonna save your jaw. It's gonna hurt like hell, but I promise I'll save it." He took a tourniquet, slid it under my jaw, and with one quick snatch, he yanked my sassy ass mouth closed. I lost all my teeth. The ones that weren't knocked out in the accident had to be extracted. I underwent several reconstructive surgeries and spent 16 weeks with my mouth wired shut. I couldn't talk. I ate all my food in liquid form through a straw. Still, I kept working and doing my wifely duties throughout my recovery. The bumpy ride to and from work every day was excruciating. All that bouncing up and down sent pain through my whole body. By the time I got to work, not only was my mouth aching, my head was pounding. During my recovery, my son saw Deacon Saint slap me with a phone book. I knew right then I had to leave him before my baby caught a charge. The look in his eyes said it all. Saint had already caused an accident that almost killed me and injured my son. As I looked into my 10-year-old's eyes, I saw that he not only felt my pain, he was filled with rage. I didn't need him to become that. After the wires came off, I got my implants and had to learn to use my mouth again, speaking and eating. It was a real challenge. I still have trouble pronouncing some things now, 50 years later. Karma will come for you. I've been told many times that my mouth was going to get me in trouble. My sassy-ass mouth got me into this mess. God sent me a messenger, and I sassed her. Through all the hurt, I found healing. Through all the tears, I found strength. And learned that no matter how hard life gets, when you trust God, He'll guide you through the darkest times and bring you into the light. Pain is a part of the journey, but it's never the end. It's a lesson, a moment of transformation that will shape you into the person you were always meant to be. As for me, I'm stronger, wiser, and more whole than I've ever been. You've got 2 ears that stay open and 1 mouth that should relax and stay closed, because sometimes you need to shut up and listen. My mouth might have been wired shut, but baby, it's not anymore, and I'm still talking. My conversation's just a little different now. Everything he did to me came back to him tenfold. He suffered from kidney failure and endured dialysis for 10 long years. All the money he kept from me, it was lost in medical bills. God has a way of balancing things, even when we don't see it at the moment. I always thought he wrecked his car on purpose, just to destroy me. The night of the accident, I heard him tell the police a whole lie. He said the man was speeding. Although he took off suddenly and didn't let go of the gas, he deliberately pulled in front of him, right after I told him the car was coming out. Then, later during my recovery, I heard him on the phone telling his mother that he totaled his car, but no one got hurt. My jaw was broken, and my son was injured. Oh, lying sack of shit. When I got better, I called my big brother, and he and Johnny Boy went looking for him. While he was on the run, I packed me and my baby up, emptied the ATM on his ass, and left him $50 for his troubles. At the divorce proceedings, the courts ordered him to pay $2,500 per month for 6 years after we divorced. Some might say, well, at least you got paid good for your time. And yes, I'm always appreciative of any blessing that comes my way. But let me be clear. My life, my time, my peace of mind, that's worth more than any dollar amount you can hand me. I'm the only parent my child has. Sometimes it feels like it's just me and God holding it all together. So no, there ain't a check big enough to cover what I've been through or what I protect daily. Ain't no price tag on peace. And if it ever comes down to choosing money over my peace, peace gonna win every time.